We will hop into this first topic, man. Updating training camp. Give me a little sip of that sip thing, you know. Guess we don't have the exciting Bud Light Celsius today, but they were good while they lasted.
Hey, I didn't know if that was going to be a normal thing. I was excited.
Start the 22 season, you know what I'm saying? Like we going Bud Light so straight up. Every show is sponsored by Bud Light.
Yeah, I thought you were just gonna have a 6-pack in your hand. Just be
look,
Deke, you ready for this?
Once they go ahead and come on board and we get a deal in placement, we will have Bud Light every single time. All right.
Or Southern Tier. I mean, they sponsor
Southern
that
Tier.
live
Absolutely,
show.
they're another
They're
one.
Local. Why
come
not?
on, man. You know we don't discriminate, man. We're here for all of it. Okay. So we will see how that goes. But today is not one of those days, unfortunately. But once again, man, training camp for, let's see, how many days in a row now? 4 days, 5 days now, had to be switched in terms of whether it be time of start or the location. Instead of them having the number 155 practice today, went with the 10:30 a.m. practice for however many days in a row. But some of the things, man, that have really been popping up at camp, and some of the things that just wanted to talk about initially with us are the three quarterbacks, right? So we have been talking about how the first week and a half, 2 weeks, it was really Mason Rudolph being just the most consistent quarterback out there. We said that Kenny had struggled, just looking like a rookie at times, and Mitch really had came back down to earth from where we had seen him in OTAs and minicamp. Well, these past 4 to 5 practices, a lot of that has shifted. Number one, Kenny Pickett has definitely been playing a lot better. He's been a lot more consistent, but he's still it's having some of those rookie issues, right? You'll see 2 or 3 really good plays and he'll have 1 or 2 really bad plays. And that's been the theme, not just with him, but with all of these guys, but it stands out a little bit more with Kenny, but he's definitely been stretching the field more. And that's been really showing up. And in terms of just how he's responding in certain elements of competition. Today, for example, end of practice, 2-minute drill, Mason Rudolph lights it up, back-to-back plays, bombs Kenny Pickett. The George Pickens. Man, the whole practice goes nuts, erupts. Absolutely.
They're on Mason's side.
Absolutely.
But it's won him over.
But it's more so because of what George Pickens was doing and who he was doing it against. So with that, though, you have Mason. So like I said, Mason goes out there and does what he does. So now it's like, all right, it's like following up Michael Jackson on stage, like just because of how hype it was at that particular point in practice. So you ask yourself, well, what is the young guy going to do? How does he respond in this moment? And he comes out there, he leads a touchdown drive. Now the context with it is different because obviously with Mason, it was more so him making 2 nice ball placement throws to George Pickens, him doing what he did on Levi Wallace, and then him having just a absurd play to end it. With Kenny, it was a little bit different of a storyline. For Kenny, he gets out there, his first play, it's a blown coverage. So he drops it off to Jalen Warren. Jalen gets a 40-yard gain. But then afterwards, when he comes back, and this is the part that was nice, hits a nice throw to Steven Sims to go ahead and get a touchdown to end the drive. So to me, even though it was different in terms of his performance, I still was impressed with the fact that, man, to walk up on that field after everybody in the stadium, teammates, crowd going nuts because of what this dude just did, who you're competing with, he still didn't allow it to make the moment too big for him. He didn't come out there and try to press too hard. He didn't come out there and fold under it either. So I did like that. But as a whole, I think that Kenny has definitely been having a really good week. Or I don't want to say week because today is technically Wednesday, but this past 4 to 5 days, dating from, I think, Saturday time frame, you've really seen a lot more from him in terms of just stretching the field more. Throughout the day, he had multiple throws, 30 plus yarders, 40 plus yarders, look good. Same now when we're going to Mason Rudolph. Mason, to me, I think that he's gotten better this week as well in terms of stretching the field. We talked about the 2 passes that he had with George Pickens in terms of that 2-minute drill. But even then, throughout the day, he's been stretching it more and more. But once again, the issues with him are the same things that we've seen dating back to when he's been in games. First read, if it's there, he's been money. When that first read isn't there, he's going right to that check down. He's not weighing. He's not going through his progressions. And that's part of the issue with him of lately. He's still not turning it over. He's doing a good job in terms of protecting it.
No picks, right?
Right. So it's just like one of them things where you're like, bro, the no picks, once again, it doesn't tell the whole story. He's protecting the ball, but he's being safe. And that's part of his issue. But that's been a part of his knock. You want to see him stretch the field more. And like I said, today, he definitely did more of that. That 2-minute drill. Also, they have this new drill where it's kind of like a 7-on-7, but they have the O-line and D-line where they're not going full speed, but the O-line and D-line are there just to make the quarterbacks have to be a little bit more realistic. Because when it's just 7-on-7, these quarterbacks be back there 4 minutes. It seemed like at times because no rush. So they make sure they at least know, all right, you got to get rid of this ball. You know what I mean? So in those drills, though, Mason today, for example, man, he connected on 2 deep bombs to Connor Hayward, of all people, bro. I'm talking a 40-yarder and a 50-yarder. Yeah, filthy with it, like craziness. And Connor, man, he had
contested.
The second one was diving catch, completed to the ground. That was the touchdown. Insane. So it's like things like that where you're looking at Mason, you're like, okay, this is what we want. We want to see more of this. But then he'll turn around and he'll have 2 of these plays where you're just like, bro, get rid of the ball. Or, hey, man, go through your progressions, get it out. Like, that's the one right there. And you could just see where he gets a little bit more flustered, you know what I mean, in that capacity. So that's been the knock on him. Even though he's not turning it over, it's not always a good thing because we still want him to just take some shots, more of them. Now, like I said, he's been opening up a little bit more, but he has to do it more consistently. And then when you're talking about Mitch Trubisky, Mitch this week, I think has improved a lot more. It's still not to how I felt about him coming out of OTAs and minicamp, but he's definitely improved way more from we saw them first week and a half of practice. You know what I mean? Like in terms of him just being more comfortable, him just looking more in control. And that's the part that I like when I look at Mitch. It's like, yo, you're going to have some of the issues that we talked about when you don't have your full gamut of players out there. Still doesn't have them right now. It's one of them things. But it's like you want to see him still being the leader, still being in command, still going through his progressions and his reasons, just looking the part. And for Mitch, he's been the clear, consistent dude there in terms of just always that leadership part, looking the part. He's had that. Now, in terms of the play, still kind of up and down. He done had some throws where you're like, okay, this is why you paid him. This is the guy. But then he'll also have one of them where it's like, yo, this is a bad overthrow or this is a late throw right here. And you're just like, come on, man, you got to be, we need more. It can't be here, and then this big drop off. And that's what's been plaguing all 3 of these guys. But I'm not surprised by it because when you're talking about QBs that are trying to prove they're QB1 or they're trying to prove they can be a franchise caliber quarterback, the consistency is what determines that. Every quarterback at the NFL level is capable of making NFL level throws. Geno Smith can make NFL caliber throws. The issue is, can he do it for 60 minutes? Most of these guys can't. And when we talk about that small select few, that top 5 of guys that are doing it on a week in and week out basis, those are the reasons why they get paid what they get paid and why they're so elite. So with our 3 right now, they flash. All 3 have flashed, but at the same time, the consistency hasn't been there to what we're accustomed to, because who we're accustomed to is Ben. And he had it spoiled, man. Let's be real. The consistency, it wasn't these crazy drop-offs, but now it wasn't like that last year, Deke. I get what you're saying, but it wasn't like that last year, okay? So with that, now we happen to see a little bit more of this, and we're just hoping that the drop-offs can be a little bit less each and every time as his name progresses. But that's kind of been like my thoughts on those 3 guys in particular right now. Good week as a whole for all 3 of them, but varying degrees of how much growth they've taken and where we feel about them right now.
All right, I got a couple things.
Let's do it.
Read that Mitch really separated himself yesterday, and it was a wow type of day for him.
He lit it up without a doubt. But once again, in terms of the context of it, in practice, fans and certain media, I don't want to call them shock jocks, but they fall for that. Oh, if I see something happen special today, I swear by this has to be it. And it's like, okay, well, what about the following day where it wasn't like that?
That's what I was going to bring up. They're saying Pickett was the guy today.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like all 3 of these dudes have had various days where it's like, yo, that should be QB1. Clear, no debate about it. But then they come back the next day and you're like, bro, is this the same quarterback that was just out here? And it's not that they're playing terrible at times, but it's just certain things that we'll see them do. And you're like, oh, this is routine. And then it comes out that it's not routine for them. That's the part where it's like that herky jerk vibe with these dudes. Because, you know, today's show is brought to you by Manscaped, the leaders in below the waistline grooming. And Deke, as I told you, man, we know games are about to happen. Ball security is at a premium. And the best way to secure your balls and your balls is with the Lawnmower 4.0, which is the best when it comes to trimming, man, not only is it waterproof, it has this beautiful little light that you can turn on and off depending on where you want to use it at. So you can see, some people like to shave in the nighttime, turns using their trimmer. Some people like to do it with the lights on. I'm a lights on dude, Deke. I like to see what's happening, but every once in a while I turn it off, club mode, ping, 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 ping. Have a little fun with the little light. You know what I mean? Every once in a while you got to do that, okay? But more importantly, when we are talking about Manscaped, we like to talk about them because we have a promo code, which is MOATS. You use that, you'll get 20% off of your purchase along with free shipping worldwide. So don't waste any time. Don't leave your dangly twins out there feeling too, furry this time of year with the heat and stuff like that. All right. So make sure you cop that. Use the promo code and your dangly twins will definitely thank you.